Dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum da da dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum da da dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum da da dum da dum dum da dum 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 dum. Ooh, do 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 do. Do do do. That's perfect. Do do. Hello and welcome to the RiffRaff, where we randomly decide on a topic and riff on it for between 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how much is usable. I'm joined as always by Stratford-upon-Avon legend, second only in local celebrity status to Shakespeare himself. It's Ed Mulrine. Ed, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm still trying to knock Shakespeare off his mighty plinth.
It's he's well and truly, grounded in Stratford-upon-Avon legend. You've got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, at this point, the best and easiest thing I can do in order to become more famous than him is commit some sort of atrocity.
Okay, have you got any ideas? We can start riffing on this.
I think it'd be really funny, just a really mild atrocity, like popping as many balloons as possible in the same place and making a really loud bang that scares all the babies or something.
Yeah, the baby frightener of 21. That was Ed Mulrine. Are you ready to know what our first topic is?
Yes.
Okay, I've spun the wheel. Oh, it's got a sound effect as well. Oh, that's not very nice on the old podcast. It's an episode... Oh my god. That was a lot. Our first episode of today's recording is an episode of Doctor Who. Okay.
Ooh.
First thing we need, which Doctor? Or do we want to cast our own person as the Doctor?
I think we should cast our own person as the Doctor.
Okay, who's the first person who comes to mind?
Dr. Christian from Embarrassing Bodies.
He's qualified. Not many of them are, to be fair. Okay, so I'm not going to challenge you on that at all. We need a companion. So we've got Dr. Christian from Embarrassing Bodies. Companion-wise, what's that woman called from the compulsive cleaning show? And she does loads of TV.
Oh.
Do you know the one I mean?
Hang on, it's not Trini and Susanna. It's not... Is it Kim Woodburn?
Kim Woodburn. That's the first person who came to my mind. I feel like the two of them together would be quite a power duo.
I'm already more excited about this than I am for the new Doctor Who. Okay. Kim Woodburn. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, Dr. Christian presented a program called Embarrassing Bodies, where people would come on with various bits.
Embarrassing Bodies,
down.
Some might say.
Yeah. Or, saying, help me, Dr. Christian, my nose is upside down, what do I do about this? And they'll say, oh, just hold your tissues higher or something, something like that.
Yeah, he's got the Doctor Who wit already, has Dr. Christian. He's ready for a laugh.
Yeah, and Kim Woodburn is a celebrity cleaner.
So,
who's been on many programs getting very, very angry about people.
Do you reckon this is like a pilot of a new season? So do we need the two of them to meet? Or is it just like, or is it like they're in the middle of an adventure? It's like they're on the TARDIS. Kim is like cleaning out the vortex manipulator. Dr. Christian's on a Zoom call. So yeah, like are we in the middle of their adventures, or are we just starting off?
That's interesting. I'm not sure. I quite like the idea of doing the first of an episode, the first of a series. Where they all meet and the Doctor's newly regenerated and something like that. So, for those who don't know, that's going to be my catchphrase. For those who don't know, Doctor Who is a program about an alien who looks like a human, who is able to regenerate their body when mortally wounded, who flies around the universe in a spaceship called a TARDIS, which is disguised as a police phone box from the 60s because it's too long to explain. And they always have a companion, and they've, for the most part, been men, but more recently a woman.
I've just noticed that in your background you have Doctor Who on the shelf, which makes this a terrific episode.
I do. It makes me look like a hired expert.
Yeah, it genuinely does. You've got that background to you. I quite enjoy it. So, we're in Scunthorpe, okay? And Kim is tackling a particularly dirty house with homeowner Stephen. Would you like to be Kim Woodburn or Stephen?
I would be honoured if I could be Kim Woodburn.
Okay, what's a Scunthorpe accent? Alright, love, he's from Yorkshire. Stephen's relocated to Scunthorpe. Alright, love, how's it going in here?
I'll tell you this now, I've never seen a cistern like it.
I didn't even know I had a cistern. Sorry, I don't know what accent that is now. I've gone Geordie, man. He travels to Stephen.
I've been scraping with the bog brush for no less than 3 hours. And apart from seeing my own face in it, I can see the faces of the dead.
Oh, why, man? Well, that's an interesting point, because I've noticed that when you look in reflective surfaces in this part of Scunthorpe, you don't half see people who aren't there. That's very mysterious, isn't it?
I have no time for this.
And then
I must get back to my cleaning all afternoon. My elbow doesn't know what's hit it. You know, the other day I was cleaning so hard that my elbow fell off, and then I had to reattach it in order to finish my job.
And was it successful, mind?
Was it successful? It was a triumph, an absolute triumph. I was paid £780 just for 1 hour's work. I am the queen of clean. I am the Kim of him.
And at that point, the ITV producer goes, "All right, that's great, Kim." She cuts off the camera. They leave the house with poor Stephen, literally only cleaning the cistern. The house is still a complete shit show. And she leaves. And as she's leaving, Ed, she walks past a puddle, and in the puddle she sees these really strange faces, almost, Ed, you could say, embarrassing faces with embarrassing bodies. And as she's staring into this puddle, a hand reaches out, but the hand only has 4 fingers, which is quite embarrassing. And it reaches for Kim, and she runs away. And do you know what she does? First thing she does is, God, I've got to ring the police. And as she's in a world of her own, she sees a police box, and she doesn't realise it's 2021. She just thinks, oh, that's the norm. So she runs up to the police
box. Exactly the thing I need.
In this exact moment, at this exact time. And she looks behind her, and this incredibly embarrassing creature is coming out of the puddle. And she's banging on the door. And then suddenly it opens. What happens next, Ed?
It opens, and the camera cuts to behind Kim, and you see that it's completely empty inside because it's a normal police box, and they did that just to ramp up the tension.
Ah, I see.
So she sees the inside of the police box. She goes inside going, hello, I'm being chased by an embarrassing body. And then there's a pause, and then a voice comes from behind her, and it says, how embarrassing. She turns around, and there's Dr. Christian.
In one of those, you know, those really long coats that the doctor always wears.
Yeah.
He might actually own one himself.
There's Dr. Christian next to another police box that was parked very close to the other one.
Directly adjacent. The camera pans and there's one directly next to it. Now, as this is going on, she's getting this introduction to this man. Like, she doesn't know much about him. She's never watched the show. And behind her, she sees now 3 embarrassing bodies. I don't know why they sound like Boris Johnson, but they do. Blah, 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 blah. And they're coming towards them. Dr. Christian, or Doctor Who, has to act fast. Where are they going to go, Ed? What are they going to do?
Dr. Christian says, quickly, into my police box.
But Kim goes, we're in a police box, stupid.
Yeah, Kim goes, we're in a police box at the moment. What are you talking about? And he says, no, there's one just outside. Quick, this one is a real police box. Come into my other police box, which is a real police box. I don't want you to think that I'm a madman or something, but we're in terrible peril. The monsters are coming. Quickly, Kim. Please, Kim. And Kim punches him in the face so hard that it knocks him out. And he falls to the ground. And the 3 embarrassing bodies are so shocked by this obvious display of violence that they melt into puddles of bubbling pink flesh on the ground.
This is rated 12. This podcast for the children listeners. It gets quite graphic at times. And then Kim, with an unconscious Doctor, what's his name again? Dr.
Christian.
With a Dr. Christian on the floor, she walks past, and she's going to go. She's going to go back to the ITV studios and work on her next project. But just something about the box is catching her. And do you know what it is? It's a bit of mould on the outside of the door of this other police box, and she just can't let it go. So she goes up to it, she grabs a Dettol, she grabs a little cloth, and she starts wiping it, and as she's wiping it, the door pushes open, and she steps inside. And what does she say? What does she say? What is the classic thing that every companion says, Ed?
When they go into the TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Yeah.
Well, she steps in, and she goes, swipe my harpig.
Like every companion always says, it's the catchphrase.
Swipe my harpig. Swipe my harpig. Swipe my harpig. That was a montage of all the companions.
Yes.
As they go through, swipe my harpig.
No, I remember that one in good old season 7.
Swipe my harpig.
And then at the door, you just hear, I will swipe your harpic. And she turns around with a bloodied face. It is, of course, Dr. Christian himself, and he walks in to his palace, his theatre of sci-fi imagination. Obviously, it's not sci-fi to him, it's reality. And he goes, well, what do you think? And Kim turns to him and goes, well, there's a bloody mould problem in that corner there. There is asbestos in the ceiling. I don't do many good impressions, as you can probably tell.
There's a slice of ham on this chair. There's a slice of ham on the console. There's a slice of ham on my wrist. There's just slices of ham all over the place. What have you been doing?
And Dr. Christian actually goes, actually, that is a highly intelligent life form from the planet Porcathonia, and it is very integral that we take them back to their planet. And he looks around, and of course Kim is eating said species of ham, which ironically tastes of chicken. I like the voice effects there, Ed. It was fantastic. Now, obviously Kim's got a lot of questions. This all needs explaining. What is happening with the mirrors or the reflective surfaces in Scunthorpe? What are these embarrassing bodies? Who are you, Dr. Christian? She needs answers to these questions, Ed, which you're going to provide because I'm the lazy host.
She says to him, I damn well need an explanation for all of these mirrors and these embarrassing bodies and you and this magical palace and for everything that's been going on since I left the set. And Dr. Christian says, please, calm yourself. All in good time. And he taps his nose.
His broken nose.
Yeah, and when he taps his nose, a glob of bloody snot falls out onto the floor. He goes, all in good time. And it falls out onto the floor and it goes... And then the pool created by the bloody snot rises up and forms into a tiny little person. And Dr. Christian crouches down on his haunches, and he puts on a pair of glasses, and he looks at the little person he created, and he goes, fascinating. And Kim says, that's what happened when I saw the thing over there. And Dr. Christian says, fascinating. Something in the air is disturbing the molecular structure of the very fabric of creation.
And it was love. Love was in the air that night. As Kim looked down at the snotty globule on the floor, she felt something she hadn't felt in over 40 years since the divorce and the murder case.
She picks up the little man that's just been created, the little bloody snot man, and kisses him very tenderly on his lips.
And with that, he evaporates again into nothing. So we basically, Ed, we have a creature, or creatures, that are forming through the molecules in the air itself. We have a budding companion in our Kim. We have a bit of comedic slapstick when she punched Dr. Christian in the face. That got a couple of laughs from the over 50s. I bloody love that. And we've got a bit of a mystery. So where do we go from here? So they're in the TARDIS. They're analysing the snot, and they note that only in the area of Scunthorpe there is a level of air pollution that is caused from a factory where they are burning unused plastic surgery cosmetics. So, like lip fillers and stuff like that. So all of the stuff that's unused, they're burning, and that's all going into the air, creating this kind of pollution, this sense, this atmosphere of embarrassment. And but what we need now is, so we've got all the elements, but what is the alien edge that is causing all of this energy and all these things to come alive? That's what we're thinking.
I think it's a terrible alien force is deliberately disturbing the laws of physics. Although, having said that, it seems that this might be a man-made disaster. I think it might well be that this is just what happens when evil corporations burn plastic surgery supplies.
Yeah.
So it might be a forced environmental message.
It's Doctor Who. They'll say anything for a price.
Actually, no. I think it's an alien in disguise as the CEO of a plastic surgery company.
Okay, I like it.
And there needs to be a scene towards the end where he pulls off his whole face, which is made of plastic surgery.
Oh, obviously.
He pulls off his face, and it's he's got massive pupils. His eyes are just pupils, and he's got one nostril, big nostril,
one big one,
and a really wide smile, like the Joker or something. And Kim Woodburn goes, "What are you?" The lights are flickering. "What are you?" And the alien goes, "I am Botox, creator of bodies."
It's like a Frankensteinian type person from another planet who, ironically...
Botox.
So you know what, let's actually... Okay, so we're on 20 minutes, this is good. So they found out about this company. They found a civilian who's helped them out, who has sadly passed away, because that's everything that happens in Doctor Who. Let's have it being played by Timothy Spall, for old time's sake. So Timothy Spall plays this small cameo as this little local guy. He's about to retire, and he gets killed off screen, and
by Botox.
By Botox himself, yeah. And so, they're trying to uncover the murder. They know something's wrong. There's some weird hijinks where they have to, they get a rope and they have to swing over a vat of, boiling Botox and things.
It's so action-packed.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Kim Woodburn has a stunt double that's clearly not her. Yeah. It's like a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah. Who, whenever it's a jump scene, that just switches over. And anyway, so they're in this big room that is boiling and burning all of this cosmetics equipment, and they're on a railing. And it's the big face unveil, and Botox rips off the face of Gary Lineker, who also cameoed in the show, and it uncovers, Botox themselves. And see, Dr. Christian is the Doctor, so he knows very well that Botox is a cosmetopagan, which is a small from a small star system just north or east of Berwick. And he notices something very interesting, and he goes, "Botox, don't your people normally have 3 nostrils? You only have 1." And he's a bit nervous. He's like, I don't know what you're trying to say. And he goes, "Don't you have blue pupils, not black ones, your people?" He's like, I don't know what you're trying to say. And he goes, "Botox, I think I know what's going on here." And there's a single tear welling up in Botox's eye, and he goes, "You have an embarrassing body, don't you? Don't you, Botox?"
Oh, yes.
Don't you, Botox? Yes. You have an embarrassing body. And Kim Woodburn is slightly stressed because there's a bit of rust on the platform just by her side. So she's trying to focus on, this world-ending plan to turn everyone into these globules.
Yeah, they're really focused on it, on this big emotional reveal. And then it cuts to behind them, and Kim Woodburn has got pink marigold gloves on, furiously scrubbing the ground with a sponge.
Yeah.
I just can't help myself.
The ITV crew is still there, so just trying to kind of skirt past Botox while he's holding the detonator to turn everyone into cosmetic applies. Yeah. And they're just like, sorry, can we just get that again, Kim? Now, as this is happening, as Dr. Christian is, saying, he's trying to talk Botox down, say, "You're not that different, we can help you," and all this. A little someone is creeping up behind him. And you know what he's holding in his hands? He's holding a cistern. It's only bloody Stephen from the beginning.
Stephen from the beginning. And Stephen throws himself at Botox, causing both of them to fall into a gigantic vat of collagen.
Yes, I like it.
That's boiling hot, and they both boil to death.
Yeah. Unlucky Stephen. Because I'd just like to reiterate that at that point, Botox had kind of shrugged off everything Christian was saying. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. You all deserve to be embarrassed. We're all going to be embarrassing bodies. And then Stephen, in an act, which is funny because he had a whole cistern that he could have just thrown at Botox, but instead he puts the cistern down because it's so bloody clean. And he jumps on top of Botox, drags him in. And after that shock, all that's left to say is, when is episode 2? Edmund Ryan, that has been us. I think that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
I have one thing to add, which is a scene...
Like a post-credit scene?
No. A scene earlier on where Kim Woodburn and Dr. Christian are walking to the factory to investigate, and Dr. Christian's been very mysterious up to that point, and Kim says, "Who are you?" And Dr. Christian says, "I've told you, I'm Dr. Christian." And Kim Woodburn says, but where are you from? And Christian says, "I'm from another world to you." And Kim goes, "What, Channel 4? You see, that would be a nice little note.
Yeah. And then the execs of the BBC are like, F you to both ITV and Channel 4. We're ripping you all down. We're breaking it down. But we're also going to remain extremely neutral. We're not going to just have a go at Channel 4. We're going to have a go at ITV too, because that's us.
Right. We need the equivalent of a post-credits scene.
I think we know what it's got to be. It's got to be Kim decides to go with the Doctor, they teleport off, and the camera pans back to that vat, and then a hand rises out with 3 fingers, and but interesting thing, both Botox and Stephen had 3 fingers. That was a detail we got to say. Stephen lost 2 of his fingers in a freak accident where his house was so dirty that he went to grab a book, and it was actually a knife because it was so covered in dust he couldn't tell the difference. He cut off 2 of his fingers. But at the last second, you see a hand rise from the vat, and you don't know which one it is. Maybe it's both. Maybe they formed into the most embarrassing body of all. We'll never know. Ed, it's genuinely been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode of RiffRaff.